Good afternoon, welcome everyone. My name is Chris Atwell. I'm the Cabinet Member for Communities and Central Services. This meeting is being webcast to allow the public to attend remotely if they so wish. Please be advised that anyone sitting in the public seating area is not in view of the camera while the meeting is webcast. In light of current COVID-19 infection rates in the city, can I please suggest that members remain seated throughout the duration of the meeting and to wear a face covering unless seated. If the continuous fire alarm sounds, please evacuate the room and public gallery by the stairwells. Do not attempt to use the lifts. Please assemble at Queen Victoria's statue in Guildhall Square. In order to comply with the Guildhall Trust's fire marshal regulations, anyone who signed in at the Guildhall reception desk should sign out when leaving the building at the end of today's meeting. So may I draw your attention to the fact the meeting is being live streamed and everyone speaking will be on camera. Please use your microphone when speaking and ensure that they're turned off when you are finished. Introductions. James?
Thank you. I'm James Harris. I'm the Senior Local Democracy Officer.
Thank you, James.
John Stedman, Modern Records Manager.
Thank you, John.
Councillor Lee Mason, Cosham Ward and Opposition Spokesman.
Thank you, Lee.
Sue Page, Finance Manager.
Thank you, Sue.
Natasha Edmonds, Director of Corporate Services.
And thank you, Natasha. Apologies have been received from Councillor Jeanette Smith, the Group Spokesperson for the Progressive Portsmouth People Group. Members, any declarations of interest? Thank you. And we have no deputations for today's meeting. So, to business. Portsmouth City Council Records Management Policy. John, this is your report. Do you have anything to add or by way of introduction to the report?
This is the routine review of the policy which is required of all council policies. The policy is essentially fit for purpose. We've made 3 minor amendments. We've updated the relevant legislation where it's mentioned in the policy. We have updated the list of council policies to which it refers, and we have added a clause empowering the director of the directorate, who is responsible for records management at the time. So should we be reorganised in future, whoever that is, at the moment it's Mr. Bailey. So empowering the director to make minor amendments and to authorise them if necessary, rather than having to bring the committee's time to spend the committee's time on it.
Thank you, John. Lee, any questions, comments on the report?
Got a question and a suggestion for change. Can I just really ask about the situation with the fountain room? Is it still in use or has it been fully emptied now? And does it still have the mould problem, or has that been?
No, we don't have a mould problem in the fountain store at the moment, nor in the other stores. We have eradicated that.
Okay.
And we have a dehumidifier that's on throughout the working week. But it's not plumbed in, so we can't run it at the weekend.
Okay. And is there a continued plan to keep using the fountain room, or is that?
Yes, there isn't enough room to move the records out of there, but a sustained period of appraisal of some of the records which are stored there would allow us to dispose of some which are probably no longer required for business purposes. Certainly there's a number which, the Lord Mayor's filing, for example, which could be transferred to the Historic Archive. So we would like to move out, but there is a need to bring back to council storage some 4,000 or so boxes of children's social services records, which are stored with a commercial storage company. And obviously there is a direct financial cost to the council for keeping those in commercial storage. So the spare storage which is becoming available in the better quality record stores it will be devoted to housing those records as they're being brought back to us. And there is actually an active programme of bringing those records back. The records in the Fountain store are ones which are not of high significance for business purposes.
Okay.
And they don't need first-class storage.
Thank you much. I think the Lord Mayor's records have been doing a bit of a... It's only in 2018 that they were moved across, because I was told they were desperately keen for them to be moved over. So
Yes, we have taken some of the Lord Mayor's records into the Historic Archive, but we haven't taken any into the Modern Records Archive. So as they've reached the end of their business life, they've actually been passed into the Historical Archive's hands. And they're in the best quality storage that the city owns.
cool. Thank you very much. And the other thing I was going to ask is for a slight change in 3.2.2. I'm happy that to save time, the delegating authority is given to the director, but I'd like to add on a clause at the end of that, just saying after consultation with relevant cabinet member and opposition spokespersons.
Well, I see no reason not to
No.
include that.
Happy? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. With that amendment, happy? Good. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you, John. Thank you for being here today with this report, because it gives me an opportunity to say thank you for the last 38 years of service. It's not
I
long
don't
if you
think
say it
it's
very
quite
quick.
as long as that.
What was it? 1984?
1990.
Oh, okay.
So it's 32.
Okay. Well, that's
It may
still...
feel
that's-
like 38 years sometimes.
I'm
but
sure it does. Well, I'm sure it does. Look, all the very best. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of opposition spokespeople as well.
I wasn't aware you were planning to leave, so...
You have a retirement, a well-earned
yes,
retirement.
I'm 66 in May. And I think it's time to hand this baton on to other people. And
Well, you have I understand you also have a very important role, a new role in your life as grandfather.
yes, fingers crossed.
Okay.
My daughter is having a baby shortly.
So lots of exciting things
Yeah.
to look forward to. But thank you very much for
Thank you.
everything. And in fact, one of the very first people I met when I became cabinet member was yourself, and you showed me around, and you were very kind and considerate to me, new impost. So I appreciate that.
I would like to thank both the cabinet members here for their support, both for me personally and for Modern Records over the last few years. It's been reassuring to have that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I just give my thanks as well for everything you've done, and you have been a wealth of knowledge. I think the city will be much poorer for it. It's the ability when you need to know something. It's like recently about something up on the hill, and you were able to find it within hours. It's quite useful. As a side note, are you still going to be involved with the Portsmouth papers, or who is going to be taking over responsibility for those?
Yes, the plan is that I'll continue as editor and with another member of staff as joint editor. That is a paid employee, and who will be sort of able to deal with the things, the orders and all that sort of paperwork that one isn't able to do as a volunteer.
Well, that sounds an excellent compromise, and I'm very glad to hear you're still going to be involved in that as well.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
You're very welcome to stay, of course, but you may have other things you you wish to do. Exactly. Okay, so we move on to the other report. Sue, over there with finance, and it's going to let us know about money.
Okay, so what you have before you is the monitoring of the third quarter revenue cash limit. So that's the
Sorry, Sue, if I
forecast.
could ask you to get a little closer to the...
This is the forecast of the revenue expenditure for the year based as at quarter three. So the summary at 3.1, which shows the net underspend of the portfolio after allowing for COVID-related costs and windfall items, is 344,000. And then you have some details of the various variances, which you read in conjunction with the Appendix A, which analyses the variances between COVID costs, windfall items, and other net variances. So if anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Sue. Lee, any questions, comments for Sue?
Well, not so much Sue. I did have requests before under 4.10 for the details of the costings for when we were doing the meetings in the auditorium. So I had been told I'd be receiving those, which
You haven't had.
I've gone through and done a search on the emails, and I've got emails telling me I'll get the information, but never actually send me the information.
No, from me. I will, apologies, I'll follow that one up and get that information to you.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know if it's okay without knowing the information.
Anything else you want to ask or add?
Are we still happy that the IT is heading in the right direction and will be back on track?
It's heading in the right direction.
Sue, if you sorry.
Sorry. Yes, it is heading in the right direction. I think as at February it was 130. So it's still moving down, but we've got another month.
Thank you. Well, this is an item for noting. I therefore note the report. James, I was supposed to say something earlier for the other report. The recommendation. Did I say that?
I believe you agreed that with the amendment as
yeah,
suggested, Councillor Mason.
It's
do you
been a
agree
long
with-
day.
I was taking out that you'd agreed with me and you were making a change, so...
I tend to agree with you. Okay, I think that's the end of today's business. Thank you, everybody. I close the meeting at 3:15.